going to call you guys. I think I was playing around with some idea on one of these lives, and I don't know if that's what it was, but that's what just came to me, and I like it. Information initiates. That's, I'm almost eligible for like the super chats and stuff, and memberships. So I had built a site that we had memberships and everything, but there's just too many things going on. So if you know me, I'm going to go over just briefly sort of what's going on with the channel and the websites for the first couple minutes. Usually takes me about 5 minutes. So if you're watching this on the playback, you could just skip ahead about 5 minutes and we will get into the psychic placements. I know one of my newer subscribers who commented on a few videos. So he's, I'm not sure if it's a he or she by the name, but we're kind of binge watching, kind of catching up on the information that I offer here. I am April 11th, 411, so that's why it's rotation 411. I was able to get my hands on a new device, and I also am upgrading my phone. Thanks to my baby brother, he lost his phone, so now there's an extra phone, so that's coming in the mail. So I'm able to do a lot more, but I will give you guys a heads up really quick that I am logged in for clients live now since I have this extra device. So I may have to, if I get a client calling through on one of the platforms I work on, I'm gonna have to hop off here and do a part 2 and hop back on afterwards. That's why I love having this new device, is it's going to be more efficient for me to hop on here live. Unfortunately, right now where I live, the data is not unlimited, and this does eat up quite a bit of data, but I'm going to try to be on here as much as I can with you guys, try to work on finishing up the big 144 series. I know you guys are always requesting me to do your videos. Because I realized I can edit the playlists on my computer, I will probably be jumping around with the big 144. I won't be just, I started with Aries Sun, Aries Moon, and we got to Libra Sun, Aries Moon, and I was just going to go through that way. But I always feel bad for Pisces moons. They're going to have to wait forever. So if you are watching this and you want to see your Sun, Moon, Rising combination, and the way I got that idea, not only because 411, 144, obviously there's 144 basic sun and moon combinations, or sun and rising combinations. There's 1,728 total combinations. So what we do, if for those of you who haven't caught on to that series, we go over each video. It's 144 videos we're going to do. Of course, I've gotten through 6, and I lost the beginning of Scorpio that I started. But at the beginning, I just go through the sun and the moon. So, Scorpio, Sun, Aries, Moon, for example, was what I had recorded. And then we go through, if you're a Scorpio, Sun, Aries, Moon with Aries rising through Pisces rising. So it's quite extensive. And the way I got the idea was watching other astrology channels, and I just kept seeing people comment, can you go over my, can you do the sun, moon, rising combinations? Because a lot of times they'll do the sun, moon combinations. So yeah, so I like it. And like I said, I've always been fascinated with different religion and philosophies because I have very strong Sagittarius in my chart. My most powerful house is my 3rd house, ruled by Sagittarius, and I have Saturn and Uranus there. So, not only communication, but also just religious philosophy. I feel like, now I'm kind of just boring you guys, but, I just feel like, I forgot where I was even going with it. In Christianity, they talk about in Revelations the 144,000. So it always was interesting to me that, there's 144 signs. Maybe I could do a whole video on it. Honestly, I don't really understand it. There's only one theory I've heard that's completely unrelated that I think makes sense when it comes to the end time stuff. But it's basically, it says the second coming, he'll come to judge the 12 tribes of Judah, I think, or the Jewish 12 tribes of Israel. Sorry, Judah. I don't know. Of Israel. Excuse me for that. I know, anyway, I'm not going to go on any more religious tangents here. That's not what this channel is about, but it would be fun to do an end times video if I ever come to any conclusions about that as far as astrology. But it is interesting how there are a lot of biblical references to astrology. Also, I I should find it and like tag it because it's on YouTube now, but there was this cool series on the Gaia channel, and it was the second and third video, and I mentioned this to you guys before, but the second video was all about the sun, and the third video is all about astrology, and he basically talks about, you know, how it ties into like the age of Aquarius and the age of Pisces. And I was at the Psychic and Wellness Fair, which is coming up again in Van Nuys last year, and I was trying to go see someone I had chatted with their seminar, and I ended up in another astrologist seminar, and she's a Leo sun Virgo moon, I'm an Aries sun Virgo moon, so we had a lot in common, and she was talking about that video, so her and I were just resonating, you know, we got each other's contact info. She's awesome. But and I told her, you need to do YouTube videos. She was selling solar return charts at the thing at the expo, and so yeah, anyways, so I should dig up that video list and tag it for you guys on that. But it's very interesting stuff. So with that being said, I was working this week. We're going to get into the psychic placements now because we're about 5 minutes in. So if you did skip ahead, but just a quick update. You know, I always refer you guys to Cafe Astrology to run the birth charts for the, you know, aspects, to see if you have any malefic aspects with someone. I refer you guys there to like the free compatibility report where you don't need the birth times, and divinetimingdatabase.com, where you can create your own free database. So it's different than .org where you submit, and it's a dating app now. And I did put, so much to tell you guys. We purchased a new domain. It's called moonmatch.love, and to try to get more people in the database. So because even as I'm in there testing stuff and working with the developers, it's quite tedious to type in divinetimingdatabase.org and .com over and over and over. So I created the domain moonmatch.love, and that is so you can automatically go to the database, and the link is in the description. And if you're watching this in the playback, it won't let me now, but I'm going to, well, I might actually be able to do that eventually, but I'm going to go ahead and start. Actually, let's see here if I could do it in the comments now. Live chat. It's kind of early. It says welcome to live chat, but it's not letting me add. So it'll let me start a poll. Huh. Well, we'll get to it. I'm going to get, you know, I'm going to be on here more. So I know I can, oh, you know what? Now that I have it on here, wonder. This is what I don't want to do, is get on here and just like be live streaming like a gamer where you guys are just watching me live and breathe. But yeah, maybe I can play with this later. I'll get into my YouTube account on the new device and see if I can't like chat with you guys there while I'm live streaming on the phone. But oh, I went into music. So I'll figure that out later. I'll get logged in there. Actually, well, maybe I can do it now. So moonmatch.love or divinetimingdatabase.org, it's the same thing. It'll take you the same place. Also, the Android app is working now. I can actually show you guys if it's the screen. I have it on the new device because this is an Android device, so I can test. Oh yeah, see? So this is the Android app for moonmatch.love or divinetimingdatabase.org. Moonmatch.love is just a quicker way for you guys to get there. It's easier to type it in to your browser. But once you're there, and you can look it up on the Google Play Store, you can search, but you have to make, I figured this out yesterday since I got the Android device, you have to make, this helps me test it, and the Apple one's coming out soon, but you have to make it 3 words, Divine Timing Database, 3 different words, and it'll pull up on the Play Store. But if you just go to divinetimingdatabase.org, the link is there. You can just click the Android button, and it will, now it's taking forever to load. It's probably because I'm live streaming right now and that slows my internet down. But yeah, so once this loads itself, I'll show you guys the app, but it's pretty cool because we have the auto search now. So if you've submitted to divinetimingdatabase.org already, do email divinetimingdatabase@gmail.com to get your temporary password for auto match, because you've already been entered into the auto match, because obviously the new people coming into auto, I'm calling auto match now, into the auto search is what I've been referring to it as. The new people coming into the auto search, you know, they're going to be matching with you. So you might want to get that, and you can go ahead and check if you have any matches already. I can go in the very back end and see all the matches, but I haven't had a time to do that because so I've been working on making a similar well, it's already all there, but I'm trying to make it where you don't need the birth times. So right now, if you go to divinetimingdatabase.com/stars, and I should put the link on divinetimingdatabase.com as well. So .com is the free private database where you can enter, you know, yourself, all your loved ones. If you don't have the birth times, you just put 12 and then 00, and then you just can't really reference the house system, the ascendant, or the moon placements, or the moons. You just have to verify. But you can, I love it because I've had it for a year now, and I can just be anywhere. Like I had found a piece of note paper when I was on the phone with my mother, and she was telling me all my siblings and, you know, stepfathers and everyone's birth times, because she had all the birth certificates pulled out of the safe. And so I had written it on a note, and then I had taken a picture and put it in my photo albums, and then I couldn't find it. So the other day I found it in my photo albums on my phone, and I'm like, oh, so I went in and entered my brother and sister and my mother's birth times. And so now I can go to divinetimingdatabase.com, log in, and I can, anytime I'm like, I wonder, oh, my mom's, you know, planet is in this sign. I wonder if that's how that's a type of an orb that is with me. I literally can just put my ID number, her ID number, pull the natal chart, pull the progressions, pull the synastry, pull the Davison and the composite. So I love it. I have some better software, not better. I have some really expensive software, but it only works on my HP computer, and so I don't use that computer as often. It's not as fast, even though I did give it a nice boost. I added a bunch of RAM to it, so when I do need to use it, it's great. But anyways, so all right, yeah, this is not loading because I'm using all the data for live stream, and I'm also logged in for clients. So I'm gonna get out of here. Let me really quick. So I hate this because on the playback, when you guys watch, you're just going to be like, skip ahead, skip ahead. So one of you had commented, you know, can you cover Pluto on the ascendant and in the 12th house a little bit more? And so I'm going to kind of go over that today, but I had been wanting to do a psychic's placement video, and it reminded me of that. So instead of doing like Pluto through the houses, which there's tons of other astrologists on YouTube that have done Pluto through the houses, we're going to talk about the psychic placements. So first of all, just a disclaimer, anybody, whatever sign you are, you can be psychic or have psychic abilities, okay? It's going to come in different forms based on the different elements. So we'll start there. You know, if you're a fire sign, then you're going to have a different type of intuition than a water sign. I'm going to say that water signs are probably the most empathic and intuitively tapped in. Now, does that mean if you are a fire sign that you're not more empathic than some water sign, you know? No, you might be, okay? So I'm not like discounting that. We're going to talk about all of the different elements a little bit, but mostly I'm just going to say that this video is primarily about water placements. So I've only met one person. Well, I mean, I don't know if that's a holistic thing, but I can only think of one person whose chart I know well that doesn't have any water in it. So almost all of you are going to have water somewhere. So even if you're triple fire, you are going to have water somewhere in your chart most likely, or you're going to have one of these planets that rules the water signs. And you're definitely going to have the houses, but we do Placidus system. So I guess you could be missing one of the water houses. So let's just quickly go over the quote unquote psychic placements, and I'll go through sort of, you know, the elemental placements as we go. So because I just don't want to, I feel like I'm going to trip up if I sit here and go through what is a fire sign intuition like, what is an air sign's intuition like, but we are going to cover that. Okay. Again, I see more of you are joining us. I am logged in for clients right now. So if I get a client, you know, they call and they interrupt, I'm going to have to kick out of here, but I will be back within 5 minutes to an hour, depending on how long the client wants to speak to me. But I got a new device and I'm able to do this now, so it's awesome. So I can be on here more with you guys. All right. With that being said, it is jamming up my connection, so I don't know if they'll actually be able to call through with the live stream. But anyways, so we have Pluto, Neptune, and the moon are the planets that rule Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, the water signs. The houses would be the 4th house, which is also called the IC, the Imam Coli, or is I think is how you say it correctly. Sometimes I read words and then I don't know how to say them. If you've been following me for a while, you would know that. Oops, okay, I hit a button on here. Okay, so with that being said, Okay, we have the 4th house, the 8th house, and the 12th house. So the 4th house is ruled by Cancer, which is ruled by the moon. The 8th house is ruled by Scorpio, which is ruled by Pluto. And the 12th house is ruled by Pisces, which is ruled by Neptune, but traditionally Jupiter. Okay, and Jupiter has a lot to do with religion and philosophy, so that would kind of tie into any sort of Sagittarian or 9th house intuition that someone may have. Although Sagittarius and Jupiter deal with the more dogmatic aspects of religion, and Pisces can as well. You know, we're in the age of Pisces, so like I was talking about at the beginning of the video, that series about you know, the Piscean age and the age of Aquarius, there is a lot to do with the dogmatic side of Pisces, but it's also Neptune ruled. So, oh, hey, Kedhar, nice, thank you for joining us. So my light is dying, you guys, which is great. But anyways, so with that being said, Pluto in the 12th house was the question, and on the ascendant. If you have Pluto, Neptune, or the moon on your IC, or in your 4th house, your 8th house, or your ascendant, or on any of the angles. So we have the IC, which is the cusp of the 4th house, which is one of the most important angles. And then we have the MC, which is, you know, the midheaven, which is the 10th house. So it's going to be probably more, what's the word, significant if you have it on the IC, which is the 4th house cusp, because that's Cancer's house, than if you have it on the MC. But the MC still can, you know, if you have the moon on your MC, which is dealing with public affairs, you're definitely going to be intuitively tapped into public matters. Okay, so you might actually be more intuitive when it comes to business and politics and public affairs. You might be better at advising people on, you know, career matters and sort of like, yeah, career and strategies. Can you predict something for me? 613. Well, I do want to come on here and do like tarot readings, and you know, I like to set the camera up where you guys can see the cards and not just do the whole flip, flip, flip. But now that I'm setting everything up the way I am, I might. If you want a personal reading from me, Kedhar, you could go to rotation411.com, or you could just keep an eye out, subscribe to the channel, and I will pop on and I'll do lives where I kind of like do quick readings for you guys. But right now we're talking about the psychic placements. And the reason I'm doing them live and not pre-recording is because it's just easier to get the information out to you guys a lot quicker. So with that being said, because it eats up my data and storage, although I did tell you guys I'm getting a new device that'll have a lot more storage, so I might be doing more videos, uploads, not just lives. Anyway, so that being said, back to the, if you have Neptune, the moon, or Pluto on any of your angles or in any of those water houses, then you most likely are, since a child, very intuitive, and everybody in your family most likely knows this about you. It's not something that you had to seek out, it's something that came to you. So Pluto in the 12th on the ascendant, I freaked myself out the other night because, you know, in my default mode, I sit there and I just listen to other tarot readers all the time because I'm doing readings constantly, and it helps me stay tapped in, helps me hear other ways of interpreting cards that I hadn't thought of before. It just helps me stay tapped into the collective while I'm doing one-on-one personal readings. So I'm not, you know, just pulling from my own, because you guys know I'm an Aries, so sometimes I use a lot of my own personal stories. But when it comes to my clients, I don't get really in depth about any of my personal stuff. Actually, some of my platforms tell me that I can't talk about myself, you know. So it's like if a client has something going on, I say something like, oh, I can relate to that. But I'm not like, oh, me too, that happened to me too, you know. So, which often they do resonate with me in weird ways like that, my clients. I'm like, no wonder you found me and chose me out of all the other advisors on this platform, because I have experienced this and know how to handle it. But anyways, so with that being said, I was watching this general tarot reading, and it takes a lot for me to click on a general one. I primarily watch Aries ones. But I click on this general tarot reading because she just somehow, her title hooked me, and I see one of the first comments, and it's something like, he astral travels and projects. And I can't remember now off the top of my head, but it freaked me out. It was like the middle of the night, and it freaked me out because thank God for Advil PM, I'm sleeping well again. You guys, I got hit by a car like 2 years ago, and I still haven't had proper medical treatment. That's a whole other story. So, you know, I have a lot of pain in my back. And so yeah, I have a hard time sleeping sometimes, but I got some more Advil PM last night, so I slept really good. So I'm up early. Anyways, so it freaked me out, and I realized that my twin, and I don't talk about my twin too much, he astral travels, and I forgot about that because it's been about almost a decade since I met my twin, and it freaks me out because one night he came in my room in LA, and I didn't know if it was him or not, but I just saw this figure floating like this, like with his legs crossed, almost like a genie, like with a top hat. But then they did tell me there's a ghost in my building that had a top hat too in that building. So I don't know if the guy had a top hat, but it freaked me out because it felt like my twin's energy. So a lot of times his energy will be around me just like anybody that I know, because I don't know my twin that well. I've just been acquainted with him. So it'll freak me out, and it kind of drives me nuts, which is moon in the 12th house, right? The collective unconscious. I don't know if it's because he's projecting his energy out to the masses, the collective unconscious, and I'm just picking up on it like anyone else would, but in a different way, or if it's something to do with him being in my energy. So my twin is the most confusing one, because anybody that I date or any close family member or friend, and I freak people out because I say things and I'll be dead on and not even know it. Like, let's say, or yeah, when I'm like dating someone, all of a sudden, if they start talking to someone else, like another woman, all of a sudden her name will start showing up everywhere. And it'll be before I even know of her, you know? So I'll be trying to make sense of it. Like, I keep seeing the name Sally, like everywhere. So I'll be like, do I know any Sallys? No, I don't know any Sallys. The next thing you know, I somehow, because I don't go digging. I don't like go through anyone's phone or anything, because what's done in the dark will come to light, especially with me. So I don't have to dig. And all of a sudden it'll be like Sally will call him on the phone, and I'll be like, who's Sally? You know, and he'll be like, oh, it's my friend, you know, men. So, and then they'll be like, you're so controlling, like whatever. I wasn't even looking for that, but there it was. So K2 and 8th house better for psychic abilities. Oh, have K2. Yeah, any planet. So that's what so let's kind of go over that. That's good. That's good, Kedar. That's a good point there. If you have any planet in your 4th house, 8th house, or 12th house, you're going to have more psychic abilities. Rahu and Ketu, yes, definitely could be more powerful than certain planets, but Neptune, the moon, and Pluto are going to be the most powerful, where you're not going to be able to deny that you have these abilities. And like I said, everybody's going to know this about you. Like anybody who's close to you will know that you're the person that's intuitive. I can't remember if I use this as an example or I actually heard it somewhere, but I think I used it as an example on a video. If you want to go buy a house, like real estate, and I might have been a client, I don't remember where I got this example, but if you, for example, want to go buy a house and you want to kind of know, like, is it haunted? The best person to take is somebody who has Moon, Pluto, or Neptune in their 4th house. They're going to be able to go in that house. It's kind of like that medium lady on TV. They're going to be able, that she would go to people's houses and like see the people. So, you know, the title of the video, I put mediumship as well. I think Cancerian energy definitely tends to align more with mediumship, but also Pisces. You know, for me, I have and we can kind of go over my stuff too. I know I'm going to have to kick off here for a second because this light's dying eventually. So I'm like tripping over myself, but I have okay, we'll just say mine really quick for an example. I have Neptune in the 4th house, which is Cancer's house, so you're putting Pisces in Cancer's house. I don't have any planets in the 8th house, but my sun is on the 8th house cusp. So that has more to do with on the cusp there with the sun. So the sun is your identity, right? It's and so is sort of like Mars. Well, no, Mars isn't. The ascendant is your identity as well. I was just thinking Aries, Mars ruled, but so the ascendant and the sun have the most to do with your identity. I feel like I've always said the sun is more your personality, and then the moon is like your private personality that people that live with you or your family know better. And you know, the moon rules the 4th house, which is the bottom of the chart. So that is your private life, and that's the angle that rules it. So and then I have Moon, which is the ruler of the 4th house, in the 12th house. So 12th house is Pisces house, Neptune's house. So for me, oh, there's one other placement. My midheaven is in Cancer, and that is the most powerful if you do my cosmodines. And if you guys want to do your cosmodines, go to divinetimingdatabase.com, create your database, enter your birth details, and you can pull up your cosmodines there as well. That's pretty cool. So once your birth chart's in there, you can do your progressions automatically, your cosmodines, and all you have to do, like, say you create it, you'll have an ID number that's higher because there's people in there. So say your ID number is like 201. All you have to do to run your progressions, your cosmodines, your natal chart, or to do any synastry, you just hit 201, enter. So you don't have to put your, like if you go to any other free astrology website, you have to enter your birth chart every time, basically, almost, unless you create, you know, a profile in there, which usually it's kind of hard to do. It's like hidden. So anyway, so Pluto in the 12th house, the IC, the 8th house, and even the midheaven, Neptune or the moon, is going to create, inherently, you're going to have psychic abilities. It's just not something you're going to avoid. Now, I know with Pluto going into Aquarius and Neptune, I don't know if Neptune has entered Aries yet, but, oh, now I have all these extra devices I could look. Maybe someone can look for me, but Neptune was just in Pisces for a long time. I think he's going to be, let me see. Now it's going to drive me nuts. I want to keep talking while I'm looking. So, and we'll see how fast the connection is here. Let me just look real quick where Neptune is. But yeah, so basically with Neptune having been in Pisces for the last several years and Pluto just entering Aquarius, everybody is interested in astrology and everybody, you know, wants to be a tarot reader. But I did find when I was kind of trying to like get my friends to start tarot reading that most the average person actually doesn't want to be a tarot reader. You know, they know that there is some skill and craft to it, and that there's certain gifts and interpretation, but there is sort of like this fad culture where, you know, I mean, I don't think it's bad for anybody to buy a deck of cards and get started, but here's the thing, and my friend in LA told me this, I might have to go run and grab my other light in a second, you guys. He says to me one day, he goes, I heard, because he knew I do tarot readings for a living and I have my YouTube channel and everything. He goes, and I might have mentioned this to you guys before. He goes, I heard that in order to be a true tarot reader, like to have the gift of it, you have to have been gifted a tarot deck. You did your initial tarot deck. Like you couldn't buy it. Like if you were meant to really have that gift, that you had to be gifted it. And I thought about it for a second. I was like, oh my God, like you just reminded me of, I was gifted my first tarot deck. And so let's see, I'm just looking really quick. What was I looking up, you guys? Oh, Neptune. Neptune, yes, 27 degrees Pisces, and is actually currently, so here's an idea of how psychic transits work. Neptune, my Mercury is 29 degrees Pisces. So Neptune is 27 degrees Pisces right now. So Neptune is currently 2-degree orb from my transiting my natal Mercury. So Mercury rules the mind. My Mercury's in Pisces, so which is Neptune ruled. So I'm, you know, now's the time to get a reading from me, you guys. Of course, I say that now that there was a few people in here. Now there's only a couple people in here. Now's the time if you want a tarot reading. Rotation411.com. Neptune is transiting my natal Mercury in Pisces. Definitely a reader. You know, so I know as an intuitive that there's different times of the year I have different sort of intuition, you know, like right now with the sun in Pisces and Neptune in Pisces conjunct my Mercury, I'm probably going to be, because Pisces, it's like so aloof, like we can't really, you know, Mercury in Pisces just all the time for me. I told you guys, I say things to people I don't even know I'm tapping into it. That's kind of why I think I have a hard time keeping a relationship, because it's like, if he looked at a naughty video yesterday, I automatically am like, oh, naughty videos. And he's like, ooh, you know, when we've never even mentioned the topic before. It's just, I don't even know that he did it, you know, it's just, so, you know, but he's like, oh, he feels guilty, you know, stuff like that happens a lot. So with that being said, you know, Neptune and the sun conjunct my Mercury in Pisces, in my 6th house of work, it'd be a good time to have me work for you and get a reading. But okay, so when I have all these planets in Pisces, I can get real emo, and Pisces can be more introverted. I cannot even want to be talking, well, except when the sun's on my Mercury right now, not even want to talk to the world, sulking this time of year, and be hidden and just listening to music to soothe my soul, depending on the other transits, right? So when the sun moves into Aries, it's a different kind of wisdom. It's that crown wisdom. Aries rules the crown chakra. I need to do a video on chakras too, you guys. So when I'm giving you Mercury intuition, like if you get a reading from me right now with all this Pisces energy, I have certain clients, like a new client comes to me, they're like, she rambles on, she didn't make any sense, you know? And I told you guys too, like usually when I make sort of like happy accidents and what I say, like the other video I did the other day, the live, I was giving an example of like quincunxes, and I was saying that, you know, if I was saying like 28 degrees Leo and would be 2 degrees Cancer, but Cancer is before Leo, so that doesn't, it didn't, 28 degrees Aries to like 2 degrees Leo, and it would have had to been reverse degrees to make sense because Cancer is before Leo basically. So during Pisces season, I'm a little more apt to make those mistakes and be a little bit off in my calculation of what I said. But during like other seasons, I could make mistakes like that and actually go check, and I'm like, oh, I was right, you know. Oh yes, Pisces is in Neptune, even though I just threw it out there and wasn't quite sure, you know. Neptune, Uranus, and K2 in the 8th house. Saturn, Venus, and Jupiter in the 12th. Oh yeah, Kate, are you a reader? I have K2. You definitely must be very intuitive and have a lot. You have basically like a stellium in your. I don't like when I lean forward. I look all like distort your face. This isn't a true aperture. I'm very scientifically brained along with I got a lot of Virgo and Pisces. It's like intuition and scientific. Neptune, Uranus, and K2 in the 8th. Saturn, Venus, and Jupiter in the 12th. Yeah. Astral travel. Is it dangerous? Okay, so I was kind of touching on this, you guys. You know, I'm bouncing around right now. So when it comes, so like I was telling you guys, like Cancer is one of the most powerful mediumship ones, I would say, as far as what I've witnessed in charts and who I know. I've just seen that people with strong Cancer and like Cancers, they are more likely to be a medium, and I'm really not. Like if you come to me for a tarot reading, there's every once in a while I'll say, this energy is very strong. Like I think this might be like someone that crossed over, like a father, you know, and they're like, oh my God, my father just passed, you know. So I can pick up on it like that. That's sort of that Pisces aloof. Like I'm downloading it from the 12th house. It's passing through my Mercury and Pisces brain, but I have to grab onto it and sort of anchor it. And that's, you know, people come to me and be like, will you just give me an intuitive reading? And I will, and usually it's on, but I feel a little like, it's almost like taking the training wheels off your bike. You know, I don't have my tools because, so I'm jumping all over here. So what was your question again? Medhurry, astral travel. So, okay. So when it comes to astral travel, I also do not astral travel. All right. I don't have that in my chart. I do think Pluto, for some reason, has more to do with astral traveling, though, in the 8th house, because the 8th house deals with like known secrets, and it's death and rebirth. So I feel like Pluto and Scorpio is a little more present on this plane. Like Pisces is the other realm for me. This is how I describe it anyways. And it's the collective unconscious. So it's Pisces is more to do with like the unseen. Pluto in the 8th house is more to do, it's not exactly like tangible, like an earth sign type of placement. You know, and so I haven't given you earth signs any credit. Your intuition is more to do with the root chakra and, you know, groundedness. So Gaia, Mother Earth, that is going to be more how an earth sign's intuition is tapped in. Okay, I just told you guys I'll kind of mention those as we go along. So if you have like a psychic planet in a earth house ruled by an earth sign, you know, you might actually be very, like you're probably going to be a tree hugger. No, but you might be able to talk to plants and stuff, and you might be a really good tea leaf reader. I started watching some of those. It freaked me out. I was watching one and it had a 5, or no, she said something. It was pretty accurate. Anyway, so astral travel, I feel like has more to do with Pluto, and Pluto in the story of Persephone, so I was rewatching a video the other day that I shot because somebody commented on it. I was watching part of it that I had on here, and it made a really good point. I was telling the story of Persephone, and I said I think it was a Saturn square Sun video I was watching of another reader, of another astrologist. She does like just the audio clips, but I think, and I was like, I can't remember, but I remember now, it was Pluto square Sun, or opposition Sun, can be like the story of Persephone in Greek mythology, where he, I think Saturn or Pluto could kind of, square Sun could be this in synastry, but he basically, she lived with her mother half the year, and like she was like the princess of spring, Persephone, or something like that. I'm not great at Greek mythology, but I definitely feel I love it how it goes with astrology. There's certain areas that I specialize in more than others, and I'm always learning as well, as you guys know. So basically, I feel like, I think though in the story it is Pluto's Greek character that owned Persephone, was married to her and had her in the underworld half the year. So she lived in the dark half the year, and then she lived up above half the year. So Pluto rules the underworld as well. We've talked about that when it comes to like Pluto in the 2nd or the 8th house. Wait, Kid, you don't have Pluto in the 8th, no. Okay. Like, because the 2nd and the 8th have a lot to do with finances. The 2nd house, you know, is your finances, your income, your family, sort of like the money that your family had as a child, like if you were rich or poor as a child. But your 8th house is other people's money, inheritances, so what you'll get after your family passes. So Pluto in the 2nd or the 8th has a lot to do with that. So I feel that Pluto is much more present on the material plane, even though it's a water sign. You know, 2nd house is materials, Taurus, and he's at the underworld. So like 2nd and 8th house, a lot of times the way that they make money, if they have like Pluto in there, or it can be a little more in a discreet way. Like, I'm an astrologist, and so everybody treats me like I don't work. And I saw this meme the other day that was like, gosh, you guys, I'm just going all over the place. It's Sun on Mercury. I'm gonna be an air cadet, space cadet. It was like, you know, no, don't be ashamed of your job. You know, if you're a janitor, you work at McDonald's, like, don't be ashamed of your job. Half these kids at McDonald's that are like 20, I met a kid, really cute 24-year-old. He just bought a house. He's an Aries. I told him Aries usually make money young in real estate. He works at McDonald's, and I think he's making more money than I am as an astrologist. So, because he just bought a house. So, with that being said, it said don't be ashamed of what you do in that regard, but also it was like you don't have to answer to anyone. Like, when I tell people I'm an astrologist, they don't even believe me. So I'm actually going to now tell people that I'm just I work for a dating astrology matchmaking astrology dating app and service, moonmatch.love. Go there if you want to be matched based on your astrological aspects. I know these, you know, ads that say, like, I saw a moon phase ad because I have my moon match app, and I know if I click on that ad, what am I going to get, you guys? I'm going to get directed to some sort of email list. I'm going to enter all my personal data and get an email list. No, that's not what moonmatch.love is. What it is it took me 5 years to build the matchmaking system in there. A lot of trial and error, and one of the best programmers out there, astrology programmers, came in and helped me. But it took 5 years. I learned a lot about coding to build you guys that. So if you'd please utilize it, because some people have already joined and they're waiting for you to match them. Okay, so it's basically CoStar/Match.com, but they say like match, and those algorithms are built for you to fail, so you'll keep coming back. This, if you go submit to divinetimingdatabase.org, again, moonmatch.love, if it's easier for you to type in, you'll literally be matched automatically now. You can instantly click chat now and chat with your person. If you know, well, you leave them a message, and as soon as they come on, you can start chatting. It's like, basically, it's not a dead end thing where I'm trying to collect your information. Half the time, I don't even have the employees yet to email you guys enough, about anything. So it's like, I'm not trying to get your email and spam you. I have built something that doesn't exist anywhere else, and you guys should be utilizing it. So if you want to go through like a Mars square Pluto and waste, or Mars square Jupiter type of relationship and waste the next 3 months of your life, trying to get on the same page with someone that you're not meant to be with, you could do that, or you could go pay $15, join the database, and maybe match with somebody instantly. The other thing that I keep glossing over is, soon there will be membership fees. So it's being built into the system right now. So if you enter, one of you asked me to let you know when that's going to end. Well, what are you waiting on? Like when the membership fees come in, because you could literally go enter the database today, match with someone. It's called moonmatch.love for a reason, that you have moon compatibility with, and that you have no malefic deal breakers with. Dump the 3 guys that you've been waiting on their phone call, or gals that haven't been answering your calls, and meet someone right now, and have the astrology that could withstand being together for a lifetime. I don't know why but anyways, we are going to add membership fees. So if you enter before then, which is happening probably by the end of the month, but I put a timer on there. I'll keep updating it, but it's happening by the end of the month. So if you go now and you pay 15, you submit, you can unlimited for the lifetime of the duration, like until for the rest of our lives, the database, you can search and chat with anyone. But soon you'll have to pay to chat with people, like because somebody told me that like Tinder now. I thought Tinder was free. I don't use dating apps, but I thought Tinder was free, and so I guess it's $15 a week, at least for the men. If you're gonna pay $15 a week to swipe, I don't know why you wouldn't enter the database. I mean, it doesn't make any sense to me, but it's like people don't want to ever do what's actually good for them. I don't know. Like, it's like we don't want to diet and exercise, we want to eat junk, so we'd rather pay Tinder $15 a week and go meet some people that don't even look like their profile picture, waste all the gas and energy to go meet, waste a month getting to know them before we go on the first date, wonder why they never followed up and called us, when we could literally go enter the database, moonmatch.love, and automatically meet someone that we have a very high probability of being able to have a really good relationship with. And if that doesn't work, now we can go keep searching as people enter. I don't know. I don't know how, you guys, I quit saying this, you shouldn't speak things over yourself, but like, I'm not good at sales, okay? And so I did try to read like some sales books and stuff, because I work on things, I love to work on things that are challenging for me. As much as I love to become an expert in the things that come easily to me, like astrology, that naturally came to me. But I'm not a salesperson whatsoever. And one of my acting teachers in LA, acting was something that's really hard for me too. So I had to try to learn that. He told me once that the type of consumer that I am, he was really smart and he knew a lot of things about a lot of things. And, in different things than I know. He's a Capricorn, so they're very good at, success strategies. He said the type of consumer that you are is such a low type, because I can get swindled once in a while. I got swindled at the mall last summer. I was getting like imprints on my clothes, and I got hustled by this European. They're really good at that, good at sales. So I got swindled, but I very rarely do, because when I buy stuff, I'm like very much a comparison shopper, and I'm on a budget, and so I definitely take my time and I look at things thoroughly before I make the purchase. And so I'm not a normal, I do retail therapy once in a while. I'm not going to say if my money's not up that I don't, do some impulsive buying, and I do have some habits that can kind of drain my bank account slowly if I'm not producing income fast enough. But I'm not. So if you guys, any of you specialize in marketing or advertising, and you don't want to become an affiliate for whatever reason, because we have a great affiliate program, if you if you have a following and you get on there and you say, hey, go to moonmatch.love, it's this new dating astrology app. It's like a mash of CoStar and match.com. You could literally, make $1,000 passive income, if 1,000 people enter piggybacking off your 100,000 follower. I tried to go and like contact other tarot and astrology readers, many that I'm a fan of, but I guess they have never heard of me because they do not seem to jump on board to be an affiliate. But you know, I only have 600 approximately subscribers, so I'm just going to keep putting out the content, keep teaching you guys everything I know about astrology and everything I'm learning, and hopefully there will be an obvious tipping point, as Esther Hicks says, and we will have a downpour of people in the database, and we will get you guys matched up with lifelong partnerships and put Match.com and Tinder out of business. I'm sure they'll be trying to buy me out at some point. It ain't happening. I'm gonna sell out. All right. All right. Okay. So, oh yeah, Madhuri, are you from India? That's what Kedar wants to know. I love your names. I like to hope I'm saying them right. The difference between Pluto and Uranus, its impact. That's Madhari. So we got a little off from the psychic placements, but Madhari wants to know the difference between Pluto and Uranus. So Pluto just moved into Aquarius. So that's kind of a on-topic question, right? With Pluto in Aquarius, Aquarius is ruled by Uranus. So we're definitely getting a flavor of that there. You know, Uranus is electricity. It's social networks. It's like TV networks, radio networks, social media networks. So if you have like a stellium in your 11th house, you might be a local news anchor or you might be a TV star, right? So Uranus rules like fast information. One time I had a client come to me, I've told you guys this several times before as well. And I was a different kind of client. I'm also an esthetician. So I was giving him a facial and he's like, I am electricity. And when he sat down on the facial bed and I said, are you an Aquarius? And I had seen him a few times and he said, yeah. So when it comes to Pluto and Uranus, Uranus is quick, unpredictable, okay? It looks like you guys all left. So tell me if you're still in here. It says 0 people. Pluto is the underworld, the unknown things, secrets, the occult, sex, death, and taxes, rules the 8th house. It's very different energy. Pluto is, you know, Scorpio rules Scorpio, which is a fixed sign. You know, actually, though, Aquarius is a fixed sign as well. So, but that's because Saturn is the traditional ruler of it, I believe. I would say more so Saturn's influence there. So, you know, Uranus is quick, brings things in, shakes them up. It's sudden. Like if you're dating somebody and you have strong, I always say Uranus. And my good friend, he goes, why do you say Uranus? It's Uranus. Well, I'm like, well, I don't want to say Uranus, you know, so it's Uranus but I say Uranus just so I don't accidentally say the other one. All right. So, yeah. Okay, cool. Awesome, Madhari. Okay. So anyways, it just quick energy and shakes things up and it's kind of hard to hold on to, you know, it has to have a circuit to connect, to be grounded in that fixed energy. Whereas Pluto, he is more of, I would say, an operator. I almost feel like Pluto might be a little more conscious. So another thing that I don't really give enough credit to, like Pluto in the 8th house and also I see in Cancer, you know, I always talk about Pisces is the collective unconscious. Pisces is the collective unconscious, but Pluto in the 8th house is like the subconscious. And then with the moon on the lower part, I do talk about a lot that, you know, when it comes to synastry and why the moons are so important for your moons to be compatible, you know, moon to moon, is because the moon rules your subconscious behaviors and habits as well. You know, the tides of the moon, sort of your moods, right? That's all Cancerian. That's all Cancer. And I see your home. So where are you probably most likely to be the most moody? It's most likely going to be at home and with your family. Because when you're out in public and in the workplace, you're operating more in your sun and your ascendant. You know, so if you're in the workplace, you're like operating in your 6th house and your MC, your midheaven. So that's like your reputation. So you have to, you know, even if you don't feel good, you have to show up for work and you have to put on a happy face. Your ascendant, if you're out in public, you know, you have a certain, you know, mask. We all wear a mask. You know, they talk about narcissism and the mask slipping. We all have a mask, okay? Now, how in alignment that mask is with who you truly are has to do with how similar is your ascendant sign to your moon sign, okay? Because what you think in your brain, aside from your Mercury, like your frontal thinking and decision making, or your analytical mind, when it comes to your moon, like, you know, what you really think and feel about something, it's it really depends how similar that sign is to your ascendant sign, you know? So that's why in my narcissist video, which some people had jumped on, you know, and said, oh, you shouldn't talk about this topic so lightly, and it's, you know, blah, 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 it's such a sensitive topic. But what I was trying to say is that, you know, like sort of the mask slipping thing is what I'm trying to say, like how much you are congruent with yourself, how much you're showing up in the world and being real versus being fake. Like maybe some people can't take accountability for things because they're really just not tapped into who they really are. Like, you know what I mean? So sometimes I think it's not a personality disorder so much that someone has, it's that it's like a lack of self-awareness or knowing thyself, or, you know, understanding that, you know, they operate in certain ways. Okay, so with that being said, I feel like I kind of did a disservice to the psychic placements because I jumped around so much to other things here. But what we're at about 50 minutes in, and I have a good amount of battery. So I'm probably going to stay on here for about 10 more minutes, try to cover the psychic placements a little more. Heaven help whoever's watching this on the playback. But yeah, so if you have Pluto and you know, sometimes I do these videos and then it kind of makes me think of other things because my brain is all on astrology, and then I'm probably do like a part 2 and maybe be a little more cohesive and structured about it, you know, make notes. I usually do better when I make notes, but where you know, and I want to live stream with you guys all day today and like hop on. I have a bunch of lists of topics that I want to do. But of course, when the day that I decide I'm going to do that, my work's having a sale. Uh-oh. That's so bizarre. Okay. So, you know, I have to balance my time, but I'm definitely going to be on here more. So, my work's having a sale of rush deliveries. Not saying I don't have a... so I actually am going to log into that now. But that was what I needed to do. So, let me think. So if you have, so basically the key is, you guys, you can go look it up on any free website, but go to, if you haven't, today's a good day to start your private database. Go to divinetimingdatabase.com and add your birth details, and then go in there and see, or whatever software or website you like to use, and see, you know, do you have Moon, Neptune, or Pluto in your 4th, 8th, or 12th house? Because if you do, or your midheaven, you're probably going to know that you have psychic placements, but you're going to be able to say, like with Pluto in the 12th, kind of going full circle back, if Pluto is more about astral projection and he rules the physical plane more, and he rules the subconscious mind that's more physically present, and he's in your 12th house of the collective unconscious, you know, I know of someone who has Pluto in the 12th house. That's the one that astral travels. He is a very powerful, wealthy man. So he probably, I was talking to my friend about this. I go, do you think powerful, wealthy people are that way because they just figured it out? Or do you think maybe they already had the power, you know, and they just don't talk about it? Like maybe he can actually bend people's minds and read people's minds. He just doesn't put it out there. And that's how he climbed to the top and became powerful. So it's kind of like what came first, the chicken or the egg? You know, Pluto is all about power. That's why I'm using this as an example for Pluto. So it's like, did he get the power because... Did he gain the power just by default and then he just has Pluto there and is powerful? Or did he become powerful because Pluto's in his 12th house and he knows how to influence the collective unconscious, right? And I do know that he has like studied Aleister Crowley and things like that, the specific person I'm talking about. So it's like, you know, maybe he learned young some sort of mind bending